So I have a tutoring business, and I get this question a lot from people who contact us about the GRE. And a lot of people kind of get into the GRE and really worry about math. That is their biggest concern because they haven't done math in college or they haven't done math in several years. And, they look at the verbal, they're like, hey, words. I understand words, but they're scared of the math. And they try it maybe a little bit, and they're like, shit, I can't do this. They try some ETS questions, and they get nowhere. They're like, wow, I need a math tutor. Well, that's a perfectly reasonable reaction, but I'm here to tell you that you might not need a math tutor as much as you think. In fact, you might not need one at all. So, the reason I say that is that math tutors are super inefficient at teaching you GRE math unless you've kind of built a foundation. So let's think of this as like a pyramid. We've got the top level of the pyramid, and I would call this level ETS. So ETS is the company that makes the GRE. ETS skill. So that's our end goal. We want to be able to go take the real GRE and be able to do the problems on it. That's ETS skill. So that's where we're getting to. Now, the problem with a lot of people that I see, or just I've done this wrong in the past too. This is how I learned. I didn't just suddenly know this. I've learned this through trial and error. If somebody comes in that's new to the GRE and they want me to explain ETS problems to them, maybe they take a power prep test and they get a bunch of them wrong, and they're like, hey, Vince, can you explain these problems I got wrong to me? Well, yeah, I can explain them, but that's not the best use of our time, because that person needs to fill in other levels of this pyramid. And if I just explain that ETS problem to them, yeah, it'll make sense to them, but there'll be many components of that problem that they need to strengthen. Maybe they're missing conceptual skill. Just knowing how to do that one problem might not help them because they're not going to see that exact kind of problem again. So a better way to think of this process would be to start at the bottom of the pyramid and not the top of the pyramid. And the bottom of the pyramid is, let's call it foundational skill. So this is going to be concepts. So the GRE tests all different kinds of concepts. And this is another reason why if somebody's coming into me and saying like, hey, I need math tutoring because I suck at math. Well, guess what? There's like 900 different little things you need to learn, and it's going to take me forever to teach them all to you. A lot, and not that I don't mind doing that, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. What I'd rather have you do is learn as many of them as you can on your own, and then tell me which ones you just can't figure out. So those concepts are going to be outlined in the ETS Math Review, which is published on their website. And you can learn those concepts using Khan Academy. So I won't go into the details about that because I have a blog about that. It's called Every Single GRE Math Concept. It's on my GRE blog on vincecoaching.com. But anyway, if you are just starting off, that is super helpful because you can teach yourself a lot of the concepts at a very, very, very basic level, practice them at a very, very basic level with Khan Academy. So that's a great first step before you even think about paying somebody like me to teach you stuff. And then you can, things you're really still having trouble with, you can kind of note. Okay, so then once you've built some foundational skill, the next level of the pyramid is repetition in more of a GRE style. So unfortunately, with ETS material, at least no one has really done a good job of this yet. Put together a real good list of for all the ETS questions out there, including the big book, what concepts the questions are testing. And it's kind of annoying to do because a lot of questions test multiple concepts. So a quick shortcut to this is just to get the Manhattan 5-pound GRE practice book. And it has a chapter for pretty much every math concept, and you can just go to the chapter, practice the concept, just aim to be able to complete about half of the chapter, and you should be good. Don't worry about the questions you can't do. Don't expect those questions to be exactly like the GRE. They're not super realistic, but at least it lets you get into the concept and just plug away at it until you've done a bunch. And now guess what? You're ready for the top level of the pyramid. Now you're ready to tackle ETS questions. And this is, again, something you can do by yourself, and you want to build the skill to figure things out on your own. But, you might need a tutor to help you through some of it. That's totally fine. You should know that probably literally every ETS question out there has been explained on the internet by somebody too. So if you don't want to, seek out a tutor, you can just search for the question on YouTube. So anyway, just wanted to give you some perspective on this. Do you need a math tutor? The one thing I didn't really talk about is maybe sorry, that's not very clear, accountability. So if you are just, having trouble motivating to do what I just said in this video, tutor can help you with that in a way, right? Because if you have to show up every week and do homework for the tutor, that might help you get this done. Same thing can kind of happen with a GRE class. So just some things to think about before you make that decision, and hopefully that helped.